Hi guys, this is week 6 of Virtual Outreach Python Programming Part 2. Again, this video is about programming for Python, so if you are doing Scratch programming, there should be another video for that. Anyways, this week we will be going over some more advanced Python programming topics. Since we've already done an overview of Python as a whole last week, let's jump right into programming. The major things we will be learning this week are different types of loops, and how you can put input into the console and how that interacts with the code. Before we get into all of that, I just want to quickly go over something. So in Python you can write comments, and comments are made by using this hashtag or # at the start, and then anything you're after will be ignored by the compiler. So for example, this is week 6 of Virtual Outreach Python, it's a comment, press run. As you can see, nothing will happen. This can be helpful for adding such as short descriptions throughout your code so other people can better understand it, and it could also help you test code in case you don't want to delete it, but you just don't want to run it in that moment. Okay, now let's get into looping. So looping is very effective for repeating the same code more than once. If you ever want to repeat something in Python, looping is the way to go. There are two types of looping, and the first is a for loop. So for loops, let's say for x in range 6, print x. It's pretty simple. And so basically for the syntax for loops, it's just for, and then the variable, which is usually x, the word in, and then this one we're just using 6, so it just says range 6, and it'll just iterate over until 6. So if we press run, you'll see it goes 6 times up to 5 because it'll start at 0. Indexes always start at 0. So as you can see, it just prints here, and so anything you tab over here after the for loop will be looped. Another type of for loop is, well, you add two numbers. So the second number, so like for example, say you want to loop between 2 and 6, and so it'll start here and end here. As you can see, if you run it, it'll just print 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is because it'll start at 2 and then only print 4 numbers because it's 2 through 6. So then also another for loop, you can also have 3 parameters, and so this one is just the iterator. Basically means go by 2s, so if you run, it'll only print in 2, 4. Got it? So then, also, let's just say there are continues and breaks in for loops. So basically, let's just say in loop 2 through 10, if x equals 6, continue, and let's just print x. So guys, what do you think will happen? Well, let's find out. If we run it, you'll see that it's the numbers 2 through 9, because the index is 2, ends at 10, does not include the last number, of course, so it stops at 9. And then what do we see here? There's no 6, and that's because we used continue. Continue keyword would just skip the rest of it, so instead of printing, it'll just skip this part if it's equal to 6. There is also break. In that case, it'll just stop the code after that. So x equals 6, it'll break, and that's why it doesn't print anymore. So yeah, basically how that works. So finally, there's another type of loop which is used for iterating as well, and that's called the while loop. So the syntax for the while loop is the word while, let's make a variable first. So let's say I is equal to 0. So while I is less than 5, print I. That's pretty simple. Now, looking at this code, what do you think it'll do? Well, if we run it, we'll see there's a bunch of zeros. Do you know why? It's because we didn't end anywhere. Since I will always be less than 5, it'll always be printing. And we don't want that. So there must be a loop, well, I'll put something inside the while loop that'll iterate the variable. So let's just say I plus equals 1. This way the loop won't go on forever. So we run it here. And oh my god, it's up. But anyways, here it is. As you can see, prints I starts at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I is then 5, it doesn't go again, and therefore it stops. So that's basically while loops. And I think one important function is the input function. And so inputs are the last thing that are going to be taught this week, and I think they're pretty straightforward. So basically the input function can be used so that you put input into the console, which is this here. You type things here, and then you can interact with it. So let's just say this is equal to input. What should the prompt be? What is your favorite color? So let's print your favorite color is X. So basically what this is doing is that, let's run it. It prompts the question, what is your favorite color? Because we used input, then parentheses, then we put some text here, and we can respond. Mine's purple, so, and then it says print your favorite color is purple, and that's what we printed here. Since we made X the input and we entered it there, it'll show up on the second line. And so this is the way it usually works. Yeah. So anyways, another function that can be used. The word input is lower. So if you put $lower after the input function, it will change all of the input characters to lowercase. And this can be particularly useful in case you're looking for a certain answer and you don't care if it's upper or lowercase characters. So let's change our question. Narwhals or unicorns? Then we add the $lower, parentheses, at the end. That'll make sure our answer is all lowercase. And you know what, let's while loop. So while X is narwhals, X equals input, incorrect. Try again. And then print. Let's change the answer to good job. You selected X. So if we run this code right now, what do you think will happen? Well, I'll tell you. we're gonna get an error because this is not a correct while loop statement. This is one. In Python, you have to put these together. Things can't be spaced weirdly. And so tabs obviously have to be indented to be part of the while loop as well. So when we run it, it'll ask narwhals or unicorns. Since we're using the .lower function, let's just say maybe we want, say, nar in weird caps, like that. And it'll say, yeah, you selected narwhals, because even though it's in weird caps, it's still the same, and this .lower makes sure everything's lowercase so it can match this answer. So let's say we run this again, and we type unicorns. That doesn't match narwhals here, so it'll say incorrect, try again, in which case you can type things again. This time though, if you type narwhals in all caps, it won't be accepted. It will only accept lowercase narwhals. That's because there is no .lower here. If we change it, so there's a .lower there, even if it's incorrect, try again, and you want to say narwhals in all caps, it'll still be selected. So that basically concludes our lesson today. And so that basically wraps up. This was our instruction on Python. Thank you so much for tuning into Narwhal Connections. And remember, stay healthy during Corona. Thank you.